Welcome back to the Titanium Hanger. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about Super 7 Ultimates and their Silverhawks and a few more things going on, but I've got a gut feeling, a theory of what's happening with Super 7 Silverhawks, specifically the reissues of the toy versions. And I might be right, I might be wrong, but the fact that you only see renders makes us all wonder. And again, we don't know the future of any Ultimates line after Simpsons. Brian Flynn's gone on record saying that going forward, you're not going to know what the pre-orders are for G.I. Joe because there will not be any. It's just going to show up and be in stock because that Wave 6, the girl repaint wave, failed to achieve the minimum order quantity. And now with this wave out, this is a great wave. I want to know what's happening in the future. We'll either see it show up or we'll never see another one again. But I really have a gut feeling that there's going to be something different about this reissue. I'm just saying, it's my gut feeling. There's no guarantees in life. I can't guarantee tomorrow. We'll talk about this and more coming up. All right, so looking at this, we have the new wave, which is Copper Kid, and I think they dubbed it Wave 5. Maybe I'm wrong. But Copper Kid, his Space Racer, which is sold out everywhere, but you can still pre-order Copper Kid at places, which is weird, because shouldn't he be in stock? But anyhow, I think he looks good. Some people chastise me by talking about the sheen or shininess of this guy, but he is supposed to be a cartoon. But I do feel like in the cartoon they had a bit of a shine to him. I feel like everything that's come prior to this kid was super ultra flat. And the joke that has been portrayed by lots of people is Primer Hawks. I don't think he fits into the flat paint space because he looks like he has a bit of a shine to him. But he's not Vac Metal. They will make a Vac Metal version of him in the future, and any subsequent other figures they make after this, if they go forward during, well, it's just a trying time for collecting financially. So this whole video is pretty much about the toy looks, the Vac metalized Silverhawks, the what we wanted from day one. That now costs $10 more. In fact, $20 more. When I got into Super 7 collecting, they were $45 for some of the Thundercats, the Lynxo and a handful of the other ones. They were $45. Now this is $65. So they upped the whole price of Ultimates by 10. Now they're adding another 10 for Vac Metal. But Bluegrass is sold out at BBTS. The Space Racer is sold out at BBTS. People are paying a premium on eBay for the Space Racer. I almost waited for a sale, but I pre-ordered one for myself because I knew that this year, 2024, was dire straits, trying times financially for Americans and all over the globe, and Super 7 specifically had to take a $25 million loan to stay in business. And I thought, well, you know, they can't afford to make $150 vehicles and make an extra $5,000 to clearance out at $300 later. So what does G.I. Joe have to do with Silverhawks? Well, when companies realize that they can't just make whatever they want, which it seemed like Super 7 did, which is really why I am a super ultra super duper Super 7 shield. I love the look of all the figures Super 7 puts out. I understand the drawbacks due to the lack of articulation. I understand that. They're going to put that in the Turtles, maybe going forward in Joe, maybe going forward in Silverhawks. But the reality of it is, they look like exactly what I want. I have this wave. I have a couple of spares I've opened. And I'm playing a ridiculous, stupid long game I really want Brian to send me his samples. I'll review them. I'll shill for him. I'll point out the negatives, drawbacks, so he can fix them before production. But he won't do that because I'll point out the negatives and the issues, so he'll have to fix them for production. But anyway, going forward, we're never going to get a pre-order for G.I. Joe Ultimates again. It's literally going to show up, or it's never going to happen again. That's Brian's words. Now, I want to say Super 7 is an extremely popular company. They're extremely popular for putting out renders that do not match the figures they make. Now, I have not been disappointed too much by any figure that showed up that they made, even the vac metallized ones. But there's one that disappoints me more than this. Now, people don't like the facial expressions and what's going on with the still heart. This figure it's okay. It doesn't match the renders, and it really doesn't actually look like what they showed in hand at the toy shows. And that's kind of a problem for people out there. I mean, if you look at the render color, it's different than the actual figure's color. This is a real figure for sale right now on eBay. If you want to go get it, then you can pay up for it. It's sold out everywhere, but on pre-order at BBTS. But it's supposed to have come in by December, by October, December, January, February. Who knows when this is going to come in? But the reality of it is that it still didn't match the render. Will the second run be closer or the exact same thing? Now, I don't think anybody's really going to be mad if Steel Heart is exactly the same as the first run. But some people are kind of hoping for something better for Quicksilver. Now, one of the biggest problems here that we see with Quicksilver is that he's not Quicksilver. He's Quick Smoke Carbon color. It really is not a shiny silver. It's like a carbon. I don't even know how to explain a smoke gray. It's not a shiny silver. In fact, people that got this might just display their ramen toy version instead of this. We wanted vac metal, kind of like what they showed at the show. Now, we can all argue that the one they showed at the show was more silver-ish and less dark, brighter silver color. But then again, all of that has to do with lighting and aspect and that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, here's what I've got to say. Even if what they showed at the show was exactly the same as what was released, and you've got thousands of people saying it's too dark, shouldn't the second run lighten it up a bit? I mean, shouldn't you make improvements as you go? I mean, it's kind of like saying your next set of turtles is going to have double joints. It's like saying that when you make your next run of Thundercats, you're going to re-engineer them to not have pins. Pinless Thundercats. Silverhawks. I mean, I'm the biggest Super 7 shill out there. I love my Super 7 collection. In fact, I stopped opening G.I. Joe Classified because I love the Super 7 Ultimates G.I. Joes that much more. I buy Classified because I know they'll never make, Super 7 will never make all the characters. It's just, it will take them like 80 years. I don't think Brian Flynn will live long enough. But the reality is, this should be silver. And I want to see all the rest of them done with the proper coloration. And I'm okay. I'm okay with money spent on the one that's dark. Give me the right one. See, I'm okay with buying the Primer Hawk and then buying the vac metal and then now buying a better vac metal. I'm okay with it. Make it right. Okay, so where are we at with Hawks? There's only 2 Hawks left, and then the third one would be sort of considered on the level of Stargazer, so maybe not much vac metalized. There will not be a toy version, just the cartoon version, but getting into this one here. So this one here is Flashback with the Backlash, and it was originally released with just the torso in the vac metal, because the fact that the original run had a lot of vac metal paint rub, and they wanted to make it A, cheaper, and B, hold up better in the long run. And it did hold up better in the long run than all of the other first run characters. But the thing is, they didn't vac metalize the arms and legs. And I think that if you make a flashback, then you've got to vac metalize the whole thing. Well, aside from, I guess, the one arm, but you need a vac metalized wrist. So, yeah, vac metalize the whole thing to make it correct. And that's something that we've needed. That's fixing a right that's righting a wrong, something along those lines. But they probably do the standard cartoon one, then the vac metal one later. Will this line have legs long enough to see that? Same thing with Moonstriker. So see, Moonstriker is in that ultrasonic type of situation where only the chest is vac metalized. And he's got a gimmick in his waist, and he's got a mask that comes down. So this was probably a prototype for what the whole toy line should have been, in a way. It should have been the whole figure vac metalized, and each one have a full down helmet, mask. That's the way it should have been all along, but this is the only figure that does it. Now, with this, I don't think they'd factor in the fold down mask gimmick, but I do think they'd make A plastic cartoon version, and then B, a vac metalized version. But when will we get these? Or will we get these? Getting into Condor, he has very little vac metalized to him, so would he just get a standard release and not getting a toy version? And that's okay. If they were to say, hey, let's just do it right from day one, vac metalize the few parts that need it, and move on. The head, and then overlay paint over it, and then the arm, I think some vac metal on the arm. Anyway, making it right from day one and not having to mess with the toy version. Here's the other thing. I don't think the three I've just talked about will sell extremely well with casual collectors, only hardcore collectors. And at the end of the day, these are probably the lowest selling figures of the line, because most kids did not have these. They charge high prices on the secondary market just because nobody wanted them back in the day. So all of that considered, Super 7 is probably trying to figure out how to make this happen. If they could vac metalize the first two and just do one run of this, I'm happy. And what are we getting going forward with G.I. Joe? I have no idea. I mean, I started to want to make guesses. If you want to guess in the comments below what G.I. Joe is going to do going forward, I would love to know what Super 7 Ultimate is going to do going forward. But I stopped guessing because they throw you such curveballs that I can't catch them. Will Silverhawk be silver or charcoal on the reissue? I hope it's silver. Sadly, I feel it'll just be another charcoal release. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, subscribe. Was this video helpful to you at all? And what do you want to add in the comments? Like, subscribe. Titanium Hanger out.